Networking is, oh my goodness, it is just amazing for now, but most importantly for the future. A lot of the times people think of networking, I hear comments like, oh, well, how are they gonna help me today? Or this doesn't matter right now. But the fruits of your labor will come far after you ever intend them to. Networking in high school for me looked a lot like meeting college professors whenever I went on those tours, or meeting with people at contests whenever I had the opportunity at FFA. And while I didn't realize it then, I was just making friends, chatting up a storm as I always do. What I realize now is those people and those contacts will be an asset to me for a lifetime to come. What I've realized since I've gotten in college is something that I like to call a loose ties list. There's people that I've met over the years that I now realize can help me in lots of different aspects of my life, and I can kind of pick and choose because I have this whole list of people that I keep those loose ties and I keep in touch with and keep that friendship and professional connection with, so that whenever I need something, whether that's a rec letter, advice, or one of those mentors, I can pick up the phone and give them a call, and it's like no time had passed.
Today, that's probably something I'm not the best at, and I actually learn from the kids that work for us, and they steer me down lanes that I would probably never go because of my age and where I'm at and how I grew up. So listening and having them even set up our phones sometimes, which is kind of funny, but the professional network side of it is what you're asking for, I think, is the business side is you have to make yourself friends with people who you think can help you go down those paths in life, that they have those t-shirts where they failed, and you don't need the t-shirt that cost you a whole bunch of money if you just listen. So the most important thing to do is not be a talker sometimes, it's become the best listener in the world.
Professional networking, extremely important. We used to have a saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. I would reach a little further and dive a little deeper in that, because I think it's not only who you know, but who really knows you. That is so important, because it is many times people might not get a chance to know you, but there are people that know you, and that is very, very important. And it will also connect you with other opportunities that's beyond your scope because of the interaction, the engagement, and it also lends to creativity and bring up new ideas, things that you haven't heard about. And certainly as you're going through high school, even college, I still have some leads and some opportunities from networks that I've made a long time ago that are still relevant today. So please know that professionalism will be enhanced by your networking skills.
Networking is incredibly important in your career, whatever it may be. Staying in touch with colleagues in the industry that work with you, that work outside of your company. You can learn things that you might not already know. You can learn things that you need to know. It's a good opportunity to spend time with people that are doing the same thing that you're doing, but maybe not exactly the same way that you're doing it. It can open your eyes to new things and new ways of working.
Oh, the future is unbelievably bright. Of course, we all know, especially after this pandemic, we know how important food is, and we know how important the distribution of that food is. We also know how fragile the system can be if one part breaks down. So we've learned a lot over the last year. The technology is incredible. Examples of lameness in cattle have been developed now. We have platforms that animals will walk across as they come from the milking parlor, and they walk across this panel. They can determine whether they're lame or not. And if they're lame, a gate opens up and they go in to be treated. Otherwise, they go back to their pens. Non-human interaction, and actually they're better than the managers at determining early lameness. Technology like that is just incredible. Our food system in sorting and in grading and in determining when to harvest. Our water usage is going to be cut dramatically because of competing needs. Some of the technology that's in that area is incredible. our marketing, the use of big data sets, of understanding more about the microbiome and disease resistance. All of those things are huge impacts to the way we do things in the future, and the health of people. The health of animals and the health of people are pretty closely related. As you probably noticed, some of the drugs that are used for prevention or for treating of COVID-19 had some origins in the animal industry, and that's going to continue. So I think agriculture and animal agriculture in particular, if you study that, it's going to open more doors than you'll have time to go through in a lifetime. And you're not going to be closing many at all. So it is a tremendous area to go into, to study, and to walk away with the skills that can have you go in many, many directions to be productive members of society, and how we're going to be able to produce the food that's needed next year, the following year, and all the way through 2050 that you were suggesting.
I think it's very important to have a professional networking, but what I think's more important is to do it across different disciplines. So you have like a multidisciplinary network. So if you're in business, of course, you want to network with businesses, but network with young people, with younger professionals. I think really try to get involved in as many different networks as you can, because you never know who's going to open a door or provide an opportunity for you. And we can learn a lot from different disciplines, so always be open to that.
You know, networking goes right back to what I was talking about during the college of picking the people you hang around. When we grew up, networking was picking up the phone or meeting somebody at the bar. Nowadays, with social media and the way we have, I mean, everybody has a cell phone. You can reach out to 500 people in no time. So the more people that you can reach out to, the more you can get your ideas and your product out. So networking is huge. I get asked about Facebook. I probably have 1,500 friends on Facebook, but I might not know 10 of them. But that's okay, because when I post something on Facebook, those 1,500 people see it. And there's no way I could pick up the phone and talk to 1,500 people. So networking is huge for yourself, your product, ideas, learning things. So yeah, and it's so easy.
I think it's extremely important. I mean, just such as events like tonight. I mean, you're meeting people all across the country. A lot of you have the same walks in life. You're just in a different state. You've all got a lot of the same goals, same situations, same obstacles. So it's just like mentors, right? I mean, you've got that professional network where guys that you can call and say, hey, you know, I'm having this issue here in Texas, or you having this issue in Virginia, or you having this issue in Georgia. You know, how are you guys handling it? What are some things that maybe we can do to handle those situations? So I think your professional network is incredibly important, and it needs to be diversified as well. I mean, you know, you from plumbers to electricians to you know, just everyday walk of life people. You know, your network needs to work. You need to work on it. It needs to be as big as you can possibly make it.
Professional networking is by far the #1 most important thing besides showing up professional and put together. Within the networking, you can gain mentors, you can gain leadership coach. You can also explore different perspectives of folks to give you a better idea of, one, what you're thinking, but two, of what they're thinking. Maybe they're thinking about it from a different perspective that you hadn't thought of, but you would never know unless you networked. And network outside of your comfort zone. As I always tell my team, be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Professional networking is very important because you're building relationships that could help you in the future with your career, or just advice, someone you need to lean on, or get some information of their area of expertise. So it's good to have a big network.
I think it's right to understand all you can about the path you're in, And if agriculture is your path, or food production, or whatever neighboring topics, I've looked back over my career and I realized some of where I learned the most was from going completely out of my industry and just curiously looking at other things. And because of our client base that wasn't in agriculture, I went to things like the Electronics Manufacturers Convention in Las Vegas. I went to a dental convention in Florida. A dental convention trade show, you walk in there and there's all these models with their mouths open because that's how dentists see their customers. But I learned a lot there. So I would say getting way out of your comfort zone, way out of your topical point of interest is really valuable to you. Just like traveling, you know, when you go to another town, another country, you hear another language, you eat a different kind of food, you learn a lot about them, but about yourself and about your own culture. So getting out of town, I would just generically call that, get out of town, look over the long horizon, and you'll know more about what you're doing.
Professional networking.
You know, it's an interesting question about networking, and my mentor, my old boss, told me one time, you gotta network, you gotta get out and meet people, and that's all very important. And an important part of that is that you know a lot of people, but even more important is that a lot of people know you. And I thought, is he right? Is that right? And you know, it really is right. Yes, it's important to have a network that you can reach out to, but you want to become part of other people's networks, so they're reaching out to you. That's where opportunity is, that you're not having to push a big stone up a hill, you're having people reach down and help you pull up that hill because they're reaching out to you. So networking, I think, is a centerpiece of a successful career and even just a successful life. That's what friends are about. That's when you make friends with your neighbor. That's networking with your neighborhood, with your city council, with your high school principal, you know, whoever you know that knows you becomes part of your network. How to do that? Just try to be friendly, and if you're a little bit shy, just try to get over it. At my core, I'm extremely shy. Some people wouldn't believe that, but it's really true. So sometime I'll tell you all about how to get over being shy.
I think that varies from situation to situation, and probably what your role is and your job. With some people, you know, that's a political process, is what it is, and I think that is what helps you, put you in the right places. One of the things I was, while I was sitting over there just a minute ago, I texted a young guy that works for me, and who got turned down for a job that he interviewed, and I said, always remember, the most important thing you'll ever know is that the master of the universe controls your life. And so if you don't know anything else, know that, have faith in that, trust that, and nothing will go wrong.
You just never know who you're going to meet. I'd like to say that the college that I attended may have helped me land my first job, but it was people that I met along the way and I networked with that helped me find my second, third, and fourth job. And then part of the reason why I'm on the host committee, part of the reason why I give back is part of this whole mentor-mentee relationship. But at the same time, I'm bold enough to say that it's about professional networking. I know that if I needed something, or if I desired something in my particular position, that I could call Aaron Alejandro and he would absolutely lend that hand if he had it. I know that I can call Greg Couchley at Justin Boots. I know that I can call these folks. They know my character, they know what I stand for, and I'm okay to do that. So absolutely, it doesn't matter what career you're in, what organization you're in, what profession you're in, there's groups out there that you should attend. I'll tell you a story. I actually, when I first moved to Dallas, Texas, I was working for a company and I was remote. And so I didn't know anybody and I didn't know anything. So I would spend all my days going to lunches. So I just kind of made it this priority that I never ate lunch alone. And so I went to women's networking events. I went to entrepreneur networking events. I went to professional organizations that I had nothing to do with or nothing to know about. But If I look back on those, it taught me some life lessons that I'll continue to move forward with.
It's very important. What it does, it builds resources, relationships with other business people, with other professionals, with other colleagues that do the same thing you do. So networking, actually, you're adding things to your checking account, of your personal checking account. You're actually depositing resources into that someday you may have to write those checks, and you have that networking out there that will help you through business relationships, personal relationships, that if you didn't use networking, you're all alone by yourself.
Professional networking is what I tell people that they need in order to be successful. It's not about what you know, it's who you know. And you need to be networking, reaching out. Don't ever be afraid of a no, of a rejection. Just continue to reach out, and you're going to reach out to the right people that are going to get you to where you need to be.
Opportunities, whether it's for a promotion or a job, or to sell a product or service, or to get somebody to support or partner with whatever it is you're trying to do, tend to occur through relationships we have with other people. So it's important to have a professional network of people who know you or know of you. And it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight, but you have to be willing to get out and engage with people. In my experience, opportunities don't come to those who are hiding under their desk. They come to those who are out in front of their desk, interacting with others.
Professional networks are critical. Sometimes, as I said, you don't recognize that you're building a network, but I get calls all the time. Someone's looking for some help with something, and I can quickly identify a person that I can call, put that person in contact with, in or outside of a particular industry. But it's invaluable to have that network and those folks that you can call upon. And what you'll find is that those people that you've worked with or worked for or had business relationships with, they love to help when you call and say you're looking for some assistance or someone you're looking to help, and they're always willing to help.
Networking is something that everybody should do regardless of the industry that they're in. And whether you're just graduating from high school or graduating from college or whatever your situation is, especially now, I think it's even more critical because of the pandemic, and because we have a tendency to be on our phones and behind our computers and working from home. You have to really be intentional about getting out, meeting people, creating relationships. Business is done through relationships. Education happens through relationships, and that one-to-one contact that we have with each other is so critically important to mutual understanding and growth and development.
Hello, Texas FFA. On behalf of Bloom, the provider of your Texas FFA travel and savings cards, as well as your Blooming FFA socks, we'd like to congratulate you all on another successful year despite the challenges we've all faced. Being back together in person at the Texas FFA Convention is the highlight of our year, and we can't wait to share all the new and exciting things Bloom has in store for you. We'd like to thank the hundreds of chapters that embraced the Texas FFA cards and took advantage of the 70% profits. Also like to tip my hat to our fellow partners, Justin Boots, Cavenders, and McCoys, for joining us in fulfilling our mission of giving back to FFA with an unprecedented generosity. We hope you have a great week here at Convention, and we look forward to the future as a proud supporter of Texas FFA.